Good evening, I'm Luxmy Gopal. Jersey's first report into the quality of mental health in the island has been published. The marathon organisers, based in this building behind me, wouldn't talk to us today, but they did issue a statement saying they were waiting for an official ruling from the IAAF.
Our reporter Luxmy Gopal is there now. Luxmy, what do we know so far?
Well, Charlie, the full picture of what happened is still unknown at this early stage. What we do know is that at about 10 to 11 this morning, a member of the public called the emergency services and police arrived to this house behind me here on Victoria Street in St Helier, where they found the body of a middle-aged woman. In other news, carers in Jersey have been protesting over changes to their working terms and conditions after state's funding cuts. Would you worry then that ultimately no one will be held accountable for this mess that wasted millions of pounds of taxpayers' money? In the past few hours, it's emerged the plan may not even be legal. Under the law, the states can't borrow more than they collect in tax.
Our savings work for us without losing our savings.
So no new health charge, even if it goes over budget? And while the authorities say today's explosion thankfully didn't lead to any radiation leak, it's a reminder of the importance of having emergency plans in place and of just how close the Channel Islands are to any risk. Two men being questioned about the death of Anna Rebello in St Helier have been released on bail. Over the past 3 years, the number of passengers flying between the Channel Islands has continued to fall, with a 4% drop year on year in 2014 and 2015.
Luxmy Gopal was following the debate. Luxmy, tell me about some of the changes we're expecting to see.
Well, Alison, as often happens with a budget, we're likely to feel it when we buy a round of drinks or when we fill up our car at the pump. But you might also want to take note if you live with your partner but aren't married, because the tax breaks that made it hundreds of pounds cheaper a year to cohabit rather than to live together married are gradually being phased out in the coming years. But from couples tax to corporation tax now, because that was the big debate of today, one of 13,500 pints of more than 100 different types of ales and ciders, all under one tent. The beer festival is a major event in Jersey's calendar, more so this year because it's a special anniversary. And organising it all is Dwayne Palmer. Cheers. Cheers. Next tonight, a record-breaking victory. Jersey yachtsman Phil Sharp has taken top honours in this year's Normandy Channel race. The mother's partner gets 2 weeks unpaid leave, while adoptive parents get 8 weeks. Jersey's infrastructure department says it's confident the island's planned new hospital will come in on budget. The bailiff is the island's chief judge, presiding over court cases here. And he's also president of the states, overseeing government sittings here. But critics say he shouldn't have a role both in where the laws are made and where they're enforced.
Luxmy, could this be the end of the road for Senator Gorst?
Potentially, Charlie, if it's successful and if it's submitted. Now, it's Constable Chris Taylor who plans to lodge this motion of no confidence. He told me a little earlier that he's missed the deadline for today, but plans to submit it tomorrow. Now, some things are already banned here at Parade Gardens, such as walking your dog off its lead. So would banning drinking as well be a good solution to the issue of antisocial behaviour? Good evening, I'm Luxmy Gopal. Guernsey's government has voted to abolish the 11+. The previous government had also voted to scrap it, but the issue was put back up for debate after the election earlier this year. There are continuing inquiries with Jersey's Deputy Viscount about the possibility of sending out divers for further searches at sea. There'll be a greater visible police presence in the Channel Islands during the raised security threat following the Manchester bombing. Now, some people think that just throwing money at the problem isn't going to solve it.
The skills gap's been around for a great length of time.
Our reporter Luxmy Gopal is in St Helier now. Luxmy, you're in what is the main shopping area in St Helier. What's so special about that?
Well, Alison, it's this shop here behind me here on King Street that's being held up by Jersey Heritage as a shining example of combining history with development in the island. In other news, planning permission has been given for new schools on the site of Lamar de Carteret in Guernsey. If it's successful, it could finally mean an end to the sticky, smelly substance that for years has been turning these beaches green.
Well, our reporter Luxmy Gopal is in St Juan's Bay now. And Luxmy, that is the view that advertisers think is going to do the job for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, Claire. Well, we're still a couple of hours from sunset, and even now it's a beautiful, albeit breezy, view here at St Juan's Bay. So scarves and gloves at the ready for Christmas shopping this weekend. Well, that's it from BBC Channel Islands for now. I'll be back with your headlines at 8. Hope you can join me then. In the meantime, have a lovely evening.